Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Monday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Parish Construction and Roofing. If you need an orthopedist, go to Brock Need Roof, call Parish. Unique Physique, uniquephysique.com, and Unique Aesthetics and Wellness. Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com, and Bocock Brothers Premium Cigars. Use the code MAT15, 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 15% off your order. Okay. Hope y'all had a fantastic weekend. Saints lose to the Falcons on Sunday. Did a post-game show after that yesterday. If you missed it, you can check it out. 24-10. Offense scored a grand total of 3 points. Poopy Groupie should be cut today. Here's hoping anyway. You missed 2 field goals. You get no points in a goal line situation. Not great, Bob. Not great. You really controlled the ball in the second half. Even still, couldn't finish drives. So. Anyway. For those hoping for a better draft pick, yesterday helped. Atlanta winning. No Fuaga. Kamara got hurt. Yeah. And Kiffin watch rolls on. So Ole Miss begins their preparation in earnest for for the Egg Bowl. Lane Kiffin still with his team. Like Shania Twain and Mutt Lang. Looks like we made it. This hat's itching my head. You like that hat? It's the one Russ Mitchell keeps telling me wants me to send him, but I think this is the only one I have. All right. Please smash the like button if you would. Subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. Let's get to your questions, see what y'all got. No, Drew doesn't have school this week, so that's why we're a little later today. So I don't have to get up and get out of the house. So got up to my cold plunge, all that stuff. I just didn't have to start at 6:45 because I didn't have to get out at 7:15. So I have a phone call at 8:30. So I got about a half an hour here. Hey, Bradley, good morning. Brandon Olson of Locked On Gators seems pretty confident. I guess we will see this Saturday. Go Tigers. Yeah, I was texting with Brandon last night. The interesting thing about it is the only people who think Lane Kiffin is going to Florida are Florida people. Everyone I've spoken with associated with LSU, with Ole Miss, or like national people, all of them believe he's either going to LSU or staying at Ole Miss. And it's hard to imagine him staying at Ole Miss at this point. Hey, Kelly, good morning. Thomas, good morning. Yes, sir. Jingle Gate, day 27. Don't let me forget today, Thomas. Morning, Matt. Curious what happens if Kiffin won't decide on Saturday. Does Ole Miss fire him? It was pondered on Locked On Ole Miss. So when Keith Carter, their athletic director, put out a statement saying, we'll have an announcement about Coach Kiffin's future on Saturday, they already know what his future is. That's the point. I told you this last week. If he were staying, he would have signed his extension. They would have announced he was staying. They want him to coach the Egg Bowl because they feel like they need to win the Egg Bowl for their playoff resume. They're fearful if they lose the Egg Bowl and he's gone, that they would be out of the playoff. So anyway. Jesse Brown, morning, happy Monday. I thought Neil looked good yesterday, not much else. It's interesting. You thought Devin Neal looked good? He had 7 carries for 18 yards, a long of 6. That is indicative of how the day went. Hey, Patrick, good morning. Happy Monday. Had a great time at the game yesterday. My son, even though the outcome was not what we wanted. Groupie is poo-poo. Poopy groupie. Glad you got to go with your son, man. That's awesome. Hey, Christian, good morning. Is it possible they push Lane's decision to Saturday? He still doesn't know what he really wants. No. They pushed the decision to Saturday for the reasons I've been telling you now for 2 weeks, because they want him to coach in the Egg Bowl, and he wants to keep coaching his team. He wants to have his cake and eat it too. He wants to leave, but coach his team. Like, if this were a thing where he could make his decision, coach the season, make his decision after, it would be very easy. He'd coach his team and then he'd leave. Hey, Darren, good morning. Sherwood, Rome, good morning. Big Chief brought my son to his first Saints game yesterday. Only touchdown was scored while we were in the bathroom. You went for the defensive series, huh? And you missed the pick 6. Hey, Weston, good morning. Finding Florida and Ole Miss locked on coming up my feed because of Kiffin Watch. Yeah, so Locked On Florida and Locked On Ole Miss are greatly benefiting from the success of Locked On LSU right now. But that's good. Those are good guys, man. Hey, Carlos, good morning. Thank you for the show. You got it, man. Thanks for being there. Let's see. If Ole Miss somehow makes the SEC championship game, would the announcement get pushed back another week? Probably not. What's the scenario that would have to happen for Ole Miss to make the SEC championship? Let's see. All right, Ole Miss has to beat Mississippi State, needs Texas to win, and Auburn to beat Alabama. That's wild. So they need to beat Mississippi State, then have Texas beat Texas A&M, and Auburn beat Alabama. I guess crazier things have happened. It could happen, I guess. All right, Dale. Saints under 5.5 will cash in. Dale, were you nervous when they beat Carolina? I mean, you still got Miami, the Titans, and the Jets, and a home game against Carolina. I mean, there's some opportunities there, man. Just saying. No, man. JD Mathura, morning, Matt. Opinion on the unis yesterday. Only acceptable way to wear black with the black helmets. I agree with you on that. However, here's my one, in theory, all black's not a bad idea. And I had this conversation Thursday with Mike Triplett. Number one, when the Saints wear the black pants, they have got to put stripes on the pant leg. Otherwise, they look like softball pants. You've got to put stripes on, just give me a gold, white, gold, or white, gold, white stripe down the side of the pant leg. Okay. That's number one. Number two, on the helmet, you've got to get rid of the stupid descending stripe thing down the middle and make the fleur-de-lis bigger. I can even get past the fact that the color of black on the helmet and the color of black of the jerseys don't match. The jersey's pants are more muted. The helmet is shiny. I can get past that if you would give me a stripe on the pant leg and you get rid of the stupid descending fleur-de-lis thing down the middle, stripe down the middle of the helmet. It's just not it's like they just keep messing it up. Let's see. Henry Bennett, morning, Matt. Locked On Ole Miss guy said Pete Golding said he will not leave if Kiffin goes. He's wrong. That's Stephen Willis, and he's wrong. Pete Golding will come to LSU. The only way Pete Golding would say is if he got the head coaching job, and he's not getting the head coaching job. Scott, been listening to a lot of Locked On this week. Ole Miss guy is good. Don't care much for the floor. Is Hurley's situation similar to Eric Gilbert? No. It's a good question, Dale, but no. Let's see. Good morning, Austin. Good morning. I think we have a chance to win a low-scoring game against Oklahoma if Braylon Moore plays. Might not cross midfield if he doesn't. Update on his injury. Do not have an update. Frank Wilson does have media availability today at noon, so he'll be there for his press conference. I will ask. I don't know how severe a mid-foot sprain is, but that's what Braylon Moore has. So, but I'm with you, man. If Moore is out, Chester's playing center, and you have that shuffle, and if R. Mason Thomas is back for Oklahoma, which I presume he will be, real challenge, man. Moore's supposed to be this great offensive mind. His play calling, his cheeks, big cause for concern. Morning, Matt. I know Ole Miss is talking about Saturday after the Egg Bowl, and this is a short week for them, so maybe questions can be limited. I can't see this going on with that resolved. Yeah, the thing that is interesting is because they play Friday morning, and there's no SEC coaches teleconference, and they won't have media availability Thursday. It may just be like today's press conference is the only media Lane does this week. So, yeah, he may be able to dodge some of it this week. Let's see. Good morning. Let's see if Lane Kiffin does come to LSU and brings Pete Golding. How will the defense look? Like, what was his defensive ranking since he's been at Ole Miss? Yeah, I'll do a deeper dive into that. Candidly, I don't know. I mean, if you gave me my pick, would I rather Blake Baker or Pete Golding? I would tell you Blake Baker. But Pete Golding and Lane have been together since they were on staff at Alabama. Lane brought him to Ole Miss from Alabama. Pete Golding's from Hammond. And the other thing, as I understand it, is while Lane is the one who's going to pick his offensive coordinator to work with, Pete Golding kind of helps assemble the rest of the staff, especially on the defensive side. So he's a pretty key part to what they do. So the whole idea that Pete Golding would stay at Ole Miss and not even knowing who the Ole Miss coach would be, that'd be a pretty significant development. Let's see. Good morning, Matt. What are we doing about Sugarwater McKinstry? Finding out he can't play. That's disappointing, man. You used a second-round pick on him. You expect him to be a starting caliber player, hoping he could be a number one, but he's not. I mean, look, they didn't even have Drake London yesterday. I mean, and he gave up the 49-yarder to Mooney. So you're going to be signing a cornerback in free agency or drafting another one. Brad David, good morning. If the numbers are true for Kiffin, how does LSU have the money? I thought money was a problem. So how much time do we have? Putting together money for a contract like that is doable. The concern, Brad, is that it stretches you and takes away funds from other places. That's the big problem with Kelly's buyout. Can you pass the hat and raise $54 million and pay it out over 6 years? Yes. Can you keep paying $800,000 a month over the next 6 years to buy out Brian Kelly? Yes, you can do that. But the problem is that's taking funds from other places where you'd rather be fundraising. Instead of just setting a match to $54 million, right? So same thing here. Like, can they, and by the way, also the way that they structure it with incentives and escalators, when you're winning, people don't mind paying, right? But does it take away, like if you're going to fundraise to pay for a coach, then you're not fundraising for, or you're choosing people to fundraise or donate for facilities or support staff, travel budget, other stuff like that. Roster. Hey, Bob, good morning. And you almost every day is 3 truths. Got it. John, what up, man? How's Drew? Drew's good, man. Do we get Kiffin news before the Egg Bowl? Yeah, I don't think so, John. I mean, I talked about that last week before that meeting with Keith Carter and Lane Kiffin, that, if he was staying, coming out of that meeting, they would have announced an extension. If he's leaving, they would have waited till after the Egg Bowl. Now, the only thing that could happen potentially is if the whole thing blows up before then, but it sure seems like they're committed to having him on the sideline Friday morning for the Egg Bowl. Who cares? Mickey's going to waste any and all draft picks. Kind of feels that way. Hey, Rocky, good morning. Brent, good morning. LSU's offense was bad on Saturday. The Saints said, hold my beer on Sunday. What an atrocious offensive weekend. All right, please smash the like button if you would subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. We're glad to have you aboard with us here.
Parish Construction and Roofing. At Parish, we've got you covered. From the top of your roof, all the way down. Parish Construction and Roofing. Parish built. Parish built. Parish built. From your hometown. ParishBuilt.com.
All right, Parish Construction and Roofing. Remember, if you need an orthopedist, go to Brock. All the subspecialties, locations all over South Louisiana, as a matter of fact. If you need a roof, call Parish. ParishBuilt.com, ParishBuilt.com. Unique physique and unique aesthetics and wellness. Restored Motions. Book a session with Crystal Poche, RestoredMotions.com. She has gift cards too, by the way. Good gift around this time of year. And then Bocock Brothers Premium Cigars. Use the code MAT15, MAT15, MAT15 for 15% off your order. Which position group do you think the Saints would target now in the first round? I would hope wide receiver. You said somewhere that this is the worst offense since 14. I forgot about that team until you said it. I said it last night. The Anthony Jennings offense was that's bad. We had freshman Leonard Fournette, who came into his own late in that season, ended up rushing for 1,000 yards as a freshman, but that was a bad offense. Hey, Carlos, not on him, but Cesar Ruiz particularly looked really overmatched. Yes, he did. He's looked overmatched his entire career. Hey, Scott, good morning. Let's see. Morning. In your opinion, if you could put a percentage on if LSU lands Lane Kiffin, what would that be? Also, who are you hearing as the second option? I think on Saturday night, I said 91% on Kiffin. But the caveat that I have given and will continue to give is that there is nothing binding that is signed. So until you have a signed contract and he's standing at a podium being introduced, it's not done. Even if everything else is. So I think they get across the finish line. But like I said last week, 7 days is a long way to wait, man, without anything binding. Could Florida get back in the mix? Could Kiffin have cold feet and stay? Could another program jump in and complicate things? I mean, it's just a long time to wait. But LSU's willing to wait. Verge said on AFR that they'd wait to the end. They'd wait to the end of the playoff for the right coach. And as I understand it, LSU expressed that to Kiffin as well, that they'd be willing to wait all the way to the end of the playoff for him. Now, if Ole Miss isn't going to let him coach the playoff, as I've told you for weeks now, which everyone else is saying, and I told you 2 weeks ago. Yeah. Oh, second option. I mean, late last week it was Eli Drinkwitz, and I think the fan revolt has been so severe at the notion of Eli Drinkwitz, and then Missouri losing this past weekend to Oklahoma as well. Hopefully, he's put that up in question. Drinkwitz, Dillingham, Summerall, Baker were the next four that I heard. That next group without a clear-cut number one after Drinkwitz. Okay. Morning, Scone. Day 15 of Kiffin Watch with no end in sight. There you go, Thomas. We got you, man. Good morning. Florida media, so pounding the drum, he's going to Florida. Yeah, it's weird. It's when they're the only ones saying it, it feels like that's just an internal echo chamber. I mean, look, maybe Scott Strickland is pulling off some major coup behind the scenes. Maybe. I am of the strongly held belief that the Florida media is about a week to 10 days behind the news cycle. Hey, Landon. Morning, Matt. The host for Locked On SEC said, you said it's 90% sure Kiffin's going to be to LSU. Florida is out. I don't ever remember you saying that. Something to possibly check on. Yeah, that's Chris Gordy, who was probably watching my post game. And I didn't say Florida is out. I said if Florida manages to get back in and get him, it would be the greatest comeback since Lazarus. But again, these are things that aren't done and that aren't until the ink's dry. Yeah, I didn't say 90%. I said 91%. It was on the post-game show on Saturday night. And that's why I hate doing the percentage thing, because people will intimate what they want, and what does the percentage really mean? And all I know is LSU and Lane Kiffin are very, 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 very far down the road. Like, if you want to equate this to a marriage, you've had the proposal, you've planned the wedding, and now you're in like the rehearsal dinner. You haven't said your vows yet. You haven't put the ring on the finger, but like you're at the rehearsal dinner is basically where you are. And it's like Florida's the old girlfriend that still thinks she's going to break up the wedding and marry the guy. It's like, I mean, probably not. Probably not. I guess you could, but probably not. Morning, Matt. Do we have the worst kickers in Saints history since maybe Russell Erxleben? How about Erxleben? How about the Saints using a first-round pick on a kicker? Let's face reality. We're done officially. Well, I think the Saints at 2-8 were probably already toast. I guess, I don't know, mathematically, maybe still in it. But yeah. Real NIL young boy. Morning, Scone. Bill's not looking too hot the past couple weeks. Think Joe Brady's potential plan B for LSU head coach? No, I do not. I think whatever Joe Brady buzz was there early, I do not hear anymore. And I think the real concern for LSU right now is, and a big part of why they are so all in on Lane Kiffin, is there is a strongly held belief that they do not have a good, clear-cut number 2 option. I think that was Eli Drinkwitz, and I think the fan sentiment has been so negative at the idea of Eli Drinkwitz that it is a hard sell. And I don't know that I'm not saying that wouldn't happen. I'm telling you, it feels like that's not nearly as solid anymore as it was a week ago. Are national pundits only hyping the Ole Miss job to keep the drama? It attracts clicks. Hyping the Ole Miss job. I don't know what you mean by hyping the Ole Miss job. You'd have to help me there. Cut groupie now. Yeah. I mean, that should be done today. Do you feel there's any truth to DeBoer going to Penn State? I would think Kiffin would be interested in Bama. I do think that is one thing that could complicate things for LSU. Let's say hypothetically Alabama loses the Iron Bowl, and Kalen DeBoer does in fact show interest in Penn State and goes there. And Bama's open. Yes, I do think Kiffin would take Bama over LSU. I do think he would take Bama over LSU. Are we totally screwed if Lane pulls a fast one? I don't think totally screwed, because I think what Saban, Miles, Orgeron proved is that you don't have to be, certainly Miles and Orgeron, that you don't have to be the greatest coach of all time to win at LSU. See, that's the difference that I think the Florida side doesn't necessarily want to acknowledge, is while they won a title with Spurrier and 2 with Meyer, those are 2 Hall of Fame coaches that won everywhere they ever were. Steve Spurrier won at Duke. Urban Meyer had undefeated seasons at Bowling Green in Utah. Like, outside of landing those coaches, they've not had any measurable success. I mean, Dan Mullen, Jim McElwain, Billy Napier, Ron Zook. You know, I mean, they've had a lot of misses there. And I think that's one of the really intriguing parts of the job for Kiffin, and why Saban and Sexton and Kirby and all of them have told him LSU's a better job. So no, I don't think LSU's screwed if Lane pulls a fast one. I think LSU could hire a really good coach and have success. My choice would be John Summerall. I'm not sure I believe that's going to happen, but I would love for that to happen. Plain Truth, good morning. Taylor Hood, good morning. Good morning. Let's got a bottle of Grip 10. Okay. Oh, all right. I mean, that's a lucky score in a raffle. Perhaps divine intervention. That's great. Congrats. I got Rip 10 up there. Right there. What time is the Ole Miss press conference today? It should be very tense and entertaining. I don't know what time they do their press conference. They're usually noon, lunch hour. Let's see. His press conference is... does not say lunchtime, no set time. Interesting. All right, please smash the like button if you would subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post, like the page, share the post, like the page, share the post. Morning, Matt. How the offense scored 3 points yesterday was baffling. Would they run? We say like there was like 9 plays inside the 30 or 9 plays inside the 10 or something like that. Scored, and you got 3 points on those drives. Pitiful. You had a 75-yard kickoff return, and you had no points on that drive. Charlie, good morning. Bailey, only thing makes me nervous if they win Saturday, he decides to stay at Ole Miss. Sure. But I'll tell you this, man. I think there's such a strong sentiment from a lot of people at Ole Miss that do not even want Lane Kiffin to coach this game Friday. That I think it is very hard to run it back. I think that's they've gotten to this point of no return where there are so many people there. And I don't mean just fans. I mean, fans are part of it for sure. But I mean, players, boosters, admins, assistant coaches that are not happy with how this is transpired. That it is, I don't know how you walk it back at this point. But sure, it's possible. Crazy stat from Saints game. Shuck was our leading rusher. Oh, God. Roll Tide 99. Is there a possibility that Ole Miss will try one last action, try to convince Kiffin to say, sure. I mean, I'm sure that's what Keith Carter's doing. But again, like he's had this, guys, like he's had the extension on the table for almost 2 months now, and he hasn't signed it. It tells you, and amid all of this chaos and hoopla and noise, he hasn't signed his extension. Like that tells you the story. Bubba, good morning. Rex, happy day one of Lane Kiffin week, man. Let's not forget that the top 15 cap hits for the Saints next season average 31 years old. Columbus will do a good job rebuilding for the future. Sad. Thomas, good morning. Stephen Willis using talking points on Kiffin Watch. Good. I'm glad he's listening. Good morning, Matt from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. I wonder what you're going to talk about today. That's Ole Miss. Yeah, Ole Miss. Let's see. This is interesting. It's been years without a Game Coin update. That's not true. Gave you a Game Coin update literally last week, maybe a few days ago. Glad you were late. Was able to catch you today. Miss you later in the mornings. Morning, Matt. I've seen lately there are some people say negative things about Drew than Kick Rocks. Let's go. 6'5", 330 power lifter. Let's go. I appreciate it, man. I'm not going to focus on the negativity. Let's focus on the positive people who are great and like you, who are great and wonderful and kind, and that's where we need to focus our energy. So thank you. All right, I got to get going, y'all. My apologies if I missed you, but I do have to get going. You're still feeling good about Lane? Took the week off work for the holidays. Gonna be locked in. Cool, man. Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard anything to the contrary. And I mean, LSU administrators, university administrators, boosters, board members, politicians, media, Ole Miss boosters, politicians in the state of Mississippi, staff members at Ole Miss, national type people. I just haven't heard anything that would make me move off the point that I've been since Friday. It was a week ago today, Monday, that Layla made her trip to Baton Rouge. And all throughout last week, things just kept trending toward LSU. And Friday, I think, was the day that was like, okay, yeah, this is going to happen. And that the meeting with Keith Carter, of course, and Lane was the thing that we had told you before that meeting happened. What the two options were to come out of that. And then look at everything that transpired Friday. Not only the Carter meeting without a Lane Kiffin extension, but then the LSU Board of Supervisors meeting that happened in executive session. And then that night, the contract gets leaked to Ross Dellinger. I mean, everything is trending in that direction. But again, you still got a ways to go till you can get to Friday or Saturday in this case. So, okay, y'all, I got to bounce because I need to get up to Guarantee. So y'all have a good day. Please smash the like button. Seems like Layla coming to Baton Rouge is monthly. Tell me about it. Please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. Appreciate y'all for hanging with us. Remember, all of our sponsors got them linked in the description on YouTube. There's a Locked on LSU lot that's live right now. It's the PFF episode from LSU Western Kentucky. If I have any update on Kiffin, I will drop a midday episode today. I'll have it all for you. And we'll have AFR 3. So AFR, by the way, today is live from Marucci Hitter's house. Excited. If I haven't been over there before, excited to get over there today. So we'll see you for that. All right, y'all have a great day. See you. Peace.